My name's Greg Matthews. My family own Toscana Olives. My parents bought it 3.5 years ago, so now I work as General Manager of Toscana Olives and I'm loving it. The grove was planted in the 1940s. For a long time it was the largest olive grove in Australia and actually the Southern Hemisphere as well. So it is a significant grove in the history of olives in Australia. It was originally 1,500 acres and it was actually recently subdivided, and there's 2 olive groves operating from it. There's Toscana Olive and Laharum Grove. And Laharum Grove was established when Deirdre and Richard purchased two of those blocks and created their label, Laharum Grove. We do their olive processing. They deliver their olives up to here at harvest time and we run them through the press, make olive oil, and then they take it back to their shed for bottling and so on.
My name's Deirdre Bourne. Richard and myself, we have Laharum Grove here. We're on the northwestern side of the Grampians National Park. We've got 300 acres here and we border on the Wimmera. I'm from New Zealand and Richard's from Melbourne, and we were just looking for something different, weren't we?
Yeah, I think we were looking to get out of town. The kids were just at the right age to potentially go to a nice regional school, and we found a great one here at Laharum. This particular area was chosen because it's ideally suited to growing olives, and that's why there's so many olive groves here. And so I guess we're working with a lot of our neighbours to try and establish a reputation for the area as a fine producer of olive oil within Australia.
Everyone thought we were a bit crazy, really, but it's we really love it, and it seems to be working out quite well. This year we picked over 50 tonne of olive oil. That gives us, well, close on 6,000 litres. That's our capacity in storage that we have here, but they have a big press next door and that works really, really well for us because we can get those olives there fresh and they're pressed into the oil, whereas a lot of other places may have to drive hours before they can get to somewhere where they can get their oil pressed.
Got our bulk stainless steel vats here which store all our olive oil. And through into the processing shed, which is currently in maintenance mode, so we've completely pulled apart the processing plant end of season and checked over all the bearings and everything to ensure we get 100% reliability during season when we're 100% depending on it. A man by the name of Jacob Friedman had the idea of planting the olives here. It was actually during wartime, and at that stage there was a lot of new European migrants to Australia, and they were feared supplies of olive oil from Europe were going to be cut off, so they thought, let's be self-sufficient in olive oil and plant Toscana olives. And I'm not actually sure how they planted them, but I imagine it was all by hand, and they would have been hand watered and hand pruned, and they would have been nurtured quite well for the first 3 to 4 years of their life. Obviously they did something right because the trees are thriving today, and we're a dryland grove, so we don't apply any irrigation, and the trees get all they need from the ground.
I think we rely on our neighbours and fellow olive producers in this area to ensure that there's a really good reputation for Grampians olive oil. To that end, that involves, for example, for our neighbours who are also an organic farm, making sure we're all aligned with those kind of organic farming principles, so people get to understand when they buy a Grampians olive oil that it's not just the highest quality, but it's made with exacting standards, that sustainable farming principles have been used in the production, and working together on that is just good for all of us, really. It's all about reputation, not just of Laharum Grove olive oil, but for Grampians olive oil, and that's really important to us, and certainly to the region.
Laharum's just a very peaceful place to live. It's a nice climate, great views, good rock climbing, good hiking, nice wildlife. I think I just enjoy the open space and just the peaceful atmosphere more than anything. Climbing up a lot of the peaks behind the grove, you get a really good vista out across the Western Plains and across the olive grove. The bird life is the other thing. There's lots of birds. I think they like the open space of the olive grove. Quite often see a flock of cockies flying overhead. They'll nibble on some olives that have fallen on the ground, and you hear a kookaburra laughing off in the distance. And whenever we have international visitors here, they just love seeing the kangaroos. I think they like that more than the olive trees a lot of the time. After living here, I don't think I could go back to living in Melbourne. It's so beautiful up here.
Because a lot of people talk about lifestyle, you know, and they talk about tree change and moving to the country to enjoy tree change, a slowing down, if you like, or a change of pace. I'd have to say our experience has been the exact opposite of that. Our life feels to me like it's never been more hectic than it is now. But it suits us down to the ground, you know. I guess we were never the sort of people that were going to come and move to a place like this and put our feet up and do nothing. And, you know, I often think that, you know, I look around me, I look at 11,000 trees, 300 acres and the maintenance involved, and often think, have we bitten off more than we can chew? We sometimes do that, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, we wouldn't change, I don't think we'd change anything about the move that we made.